Whatever.
All right.
What's up? Act like we haven't been talking beforehand.
Oh, hey, how's it going, man? Long time.
Long time. Yeah.
Yeah.
So like when you start watching Joe Rogan and they start recording and they're like, "Hey man, so nice to have you. We haven't talked in so long." It's like, you've been talking for at least 30 minutes.
Yeah, or sometimes people are like, "Oh, have we been recording?" Or they don't know.
That's good.
I like
too.
that with podcasts where they've been like that the natural conversation just led into the podcast, so that they're not being fake. Like I've heard a lot of podcasts. Are we recording already? Have we been recording? Okay, good. It's like that's cool,
Yeah. I guess that makes you feel a little bit more natural, like you forgot that you were even being recorded.
Yeah, or like the person you're listening to is being authentic regardless of whether it's recording or not. They're being the same.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true.
That's cool. Yeah, so what's up? I don't want to undermine our credibility. So I put some of our transcripts, not just yours and mine, but when I recorded by myself, I put the transcripts through ChatGPT and had to like analyze it for content.
Uh-huh.
And it was like, great stuff. One thing, if I may, and then it's like
that Marc guy is super annoying.
No, it was like these kinds of statements undermine your credibility. Like, don't undermine your own credibility by being too wishy-washy about the things you're saying, or like second guessing yourself, or like I started, like I did one by myself, and when I started it, I was like, "Welcome to life," or whatever, and I was like, my buddy Marc's usually with me, but he's not today, so we're just starting and we don't really have an idea of what this is going to be like. So if there's anything you like that we're doing, like let us know, and blah, blah, blah. And ChatGPT was like, delete all of that shit. Like just start with like the point that you're trying to, nobody wants to sit and listen to you like be indecisive about stuff.
So what did it?
Which sucks, because that's like my whole personality is based around being pretty indecisive about shit. So it's going to be really challenging for me.
Well, maybe this breaks the mold. You don't have to do
maybe this is really
traditionally.
good for me. Yeah, I think so. I think being decisive is a good thing. Maybe that's the topic of today, is like just being decisive, because like it gets me into all kinds of trouble, especially with women. I think I discovered the issue with women. Because when a woman asks you something, the last thing she wants to hear is like, I don't know. I'm not sure. Like, they want you to know. At least my wife does.
Yeah.
Same thing with my mom. Yeah, go ahead.
I was just going to say that I think where I'm the worst with that is like, and Jess and I are both like this, trying to decide what to have for dinner. That seems to be like the hardest thing for
it's
us
so
to decide
hard
sometimes.
That's such a puzzle. It's such a tricky situation, because you're like, are they asking because they want you to like say something, or do they kind of know where they want to eat already?
Well, Jess and I, we do almost every day. It's like whoever messages first will be like, "Hey, what do you want for dinner?" And it's like, "Oh, now you have to choose." But
well, when you choose, is she like, "Oh, okay, good, that sounds good," or is she like, "I don't know about that"?
I would say I'm probably the one that's like, "I don't know about that."
Oh, so you're the bitch, okay?
Yeah, because like she knows she loves when I do the cooking. Jess cleans, I do the cooking.
That's
she
pretty cool,
loves a good stuffed pepper, and I don't. So she'll
stuffed
be like,
peppers are good, man.
I mean, I get at times
with the rice and the ground beef and stuff, and onions.
I mean, I make them different all the time.
So you stuff
sometimes
them
I'll
with all kinds
do
of shit.
so. Yeah, kind of. Sometimes I'll make, like, if we have leftover chili, I'll do chili and rice and a stuffed pepper with cheese and stuff. And that's
but you don't enjoy them.
I don't enjoy the pepper part. I think I'm like, I'd rather just have the chili in a bowl, maybe with some bread, which is not.
You're just not a pepper guy. I got it.
I put peppers in like almost everything I cook, but
you're
just
not
eating
a bell pepper person, right? Or no?
Well, I absolutely I like it raw more than I would like it bigger.
You just don't like eating it like an apple, basically.
Yeah.
Okay,
no.
I do. I think but I get it. So she likes that and you don't so much, so that is a problem, or what?
Well, I mean, sometimes because I know it's healthy for me and my stomach likes it, she'll ask it and I'll be like, maybe you should do that now or once in a while. And then again, if we have like, because I'll make a huge batch of chili that I cook for hours at a time, and then have a whole bunch of leftovers that go in the freezer. And it's like, oh, if we have that already, might as well use it and use it in a different way than just eating a bowl of chili or something.
Well, see, you're being decisive already by being the one who cooks, I think. That's your way of being decisive. Like, you're like, I'll fucking do it, right? You just
Y-
gotta tell me
Except for the
what.
days I don't want to, but then I just most of the time buckle down and do it. But we sometimes we'll try to have like easy days too. One thing that actually I really enjoy that we do is a cauliflower crust pizza, like a frozen one from Open Nature. And it's
Yeah.
so good. It gets so crispy. And I'm like, I didn't have to spend any time doing anything, and I enjoy the dinner.
Nice. Yeah, no, I don't know when I get into a conversation about what to eat for dinner, I'm not picky at all. Like, I usually break down after cuz I ask cuz I feel like my opinion, like, I get shot down when I offer up my opinion about what to eat so many times that I'm like, "Why the fuck are you asking me?" It sounds like you know what you want. If it's not the 30 things I already listed, just
Yeah,
tell. It's easier for you to just tell me, kind of give me a fucking parameters of what you're kind of thinking, so I'm not just throwing shit at the wall, you know?
that's
Like, that
go ahead, finish
sucks.
your thought. Yeah.
No, that's
I
that's not fun.
No, it reminds me of like this trick I would see on like videos, and it'd
Yeah,
be,
it's like a card trick or something, right? It's like
well,
you get
no, what the guy does is he's like, guess what? Or guess where I'm taking you for dinner. And she's
uh,
like, I don't know where. He's like, just
uh,
guess, just guess. And she's like, this place. He goes, how'd you know? It's like, because then
yeah,
she
that's
decided that's
that's
what she
smart.
wanted. Yeah. You could
It's good.
almost
It's
do
good.
that with making dinner as well. But
Yeah, they want you to like. The part that sucks about it is they want you to know what they want, right? They don't. I don't even think sometimes they know that that's what they're asking, but they're like, read my mind, you know? That's what it is. Like,
I wouldn't say Jess is like that.
it's like they don't know, like they don't know well enough what they want, but it's in there somewhere, and they're like, hey, you figure out what's in my head because I
Yeah,
can't
that's true.
figure it out. And I'm
I,
like, I don't fucking know what's in your head. And then she's like, then they get mad. They're like, why don't you know? Like, why can't you figure it out? And it's like, now I'm
oh
on
man,
trial for not figuring it out. I don't know.
like I said, I'm the one that's a little bit more indecisive when it comes to
So,
that.
so you don't have, this is a specific to me problem, not a
I think it's a
universal
very
woman
common
problem.
problem,
I
but
think it's pretty
yeah,
common. Yeah.
yeah. But no, I'm like, she'll list out, some ideas, and I'm like, I don't want to eat that.
I think
And then
if
I'll
I
be
was just
like,
like,
I'll make
hey,
a burger, and she's like, we're not having burgers. I'm like, okay.
yeah, that happens. That happens.
Yeah.
I think if I just like said I'm cooking this, she would be like, okay, right.
Oh yeah, that's probably true too. But what I enjoy most about cooking is feeding people and then enjoying my food. So I like a
It's
lot of
very
times.
selfless.
Well, kind of. It's like it's a reward to me. Like I not like that necessarily the compliments, but people just
That's literally the
enjoying the good
definition of
food.
selflessness. Is the reward is the experience of giving stuff to other people. You like just defined like,
I'm As I'm like, no, I'm being selfish because I want it. I
no,
want you to
no.
enjoy
It really it
it.
feeds my soul to feed other people. It's not yeah. It's like you're being like too yeah. You
That's
don't
funny.
want the credit for it. Oh, you're a
Well,
good
and
guy,
then
Marc.
when I do make food,
Mm.
it was like if I spend a long time making something, like then I'm not hungry, which is weird. It's like I smell the food and I taste it throughout, and then by the time when we're ready to eat, I'm like, I'll eat later. Like I'm not hungry. So
See, I'm the opposite of you. I'm an asshole. And then when I go in the kitchen and I start cooking, I start to like if I get frustrated while I'm cooking, then
what
I'm
do
like
you
then
get frustrated about?
I was cooking the other day and I just took it down, but we have the most sensitive fire alarm in the hallway.
Oh yeah.
And if there's any little bit of smoke, it sets off the smoke alarms.
I get
And
that.
then my dog has PTSD about the smoke alarm. So if he hears the chirp like once, he just starts running around the house going, "Rah, rah, 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 rah." So it's like, and I'm already freaking out because the
Uh,
alarm's going off. I'm trying to like wave something in front of it. And then I have this hysterical dog running around. "Rah, rah, rah, rah." And it's just like,
Man,
oh my fucking God.
if
So
Jasmine
then,
heard that, she would just have instant diarrhea all over the place.
dude,
She'd be
that's
like, I gotta go
insane.
outside.
I would fucking get
She
rid
does
of
that
that dog.
with an
I'll
impact
be
drill.
honest. If a dog I had just started fucking
She doesn't go in the
spraying
house. I just
projectile shit all over the house
she
when the
doesn't do it
fire
in the
alarm
house.
went off, she doesn't do
Uh,
that. Okay, that's good.
Not in the house, but she'll be like, let me outside right now.
No,
Anyway, what else do you get frustrated about when you're cooking?
just the act of making shit and trying to time stuff, and then something starts like smoking over here or bubbling over here, and I'm like, I wasn't prepared to do this to begin with. I just kind of start. I usually that's how I cook. I just like decide a couple minutes beforehand, like let's see what's in the freezer. And I'll just
I
fucking
like
do
that
some of
though.
this and some of that, and then I start trying to get it all so it comes out at the same time, and I'm not very good at that
Yeah,
oftentimes. I'm trying to do too many things, and then that's when my selfishness kicks in, because if I turn around and I see someone sitting on the couch like scrolling their phone, and I'm like in the kitchen, I'm like, you motherfucker, you don't get any of this shit when I'm done. Or then I don't know.
that's great.
I need to try not to be so like hostile about stuff.
I'm hostile while driving, and that's what I probably need to work on. Like cooking, no problem. I got the timing down. I generally know what I want to do. Uh, if I mean, once I have a plan, it usually goes well. Um, but when it comes to driving, there's the unpredictability of other people, and that's what really pisses me off.
I get pissed about it, but I also like I decided, I guess because I used to drive for FedEx, I
That's
kind of
true.
learned, like I drove all day, every day, and I kind of learned like not to engage with other people in that way because it's dangerous.
It is dangerous.
So I'm just like, I'll be the bigger man here, for my
I've been
own safety.
trying to do that.
Yeah.
I'll even be driving with Jess and someone will do something stupid. I'll just be like, Zen. I just say the word Zen.
Yeah.
Stay
Or
Zen.
you just go like, that person's fucking stupid. Look at
Yeah.
how they're acting. What a dummy.
Well, as long as it's not affecting, if it affects me, that's where I get pissed.
It
But
doesn't, yeah, if they cut you off and they almost make you crash, that sucks.
yeah,
But if they're like trying to like race past me or whatever, or they're riding my ass or something like that, like, I'll just move out of the way. I'll
that's what I've
slow
been
down or move
trying
out
to
of the way.
figure out
Just go,
because
bye,
if they
douchebag, have fun.
yeah, if
Yeah.
someone's on my ass and I'm like, you just got to give me a second to get over. You just got up here. But if you're
Yeah.
gonna go this close, I'm like, I'm just gonna slow down.
That's totally fine too. If they
Yeah,
hit you, it's their fault.
yeah.
I
Did
had
I
that
tell you?
situation before.
Did I?
I brake
Oh,
checked a motherfucker
and
and he
they
smashed into my bumper.
falling too close.
Yeah.
You clearly
He
had to
was
brake for the squirrel on the road,
There
but
was a squirrel crossing the road,
yeah,
but yeah, he
yeah,
was like right behind me. I didn't even see him.
yeah.
But then after the accident, he got out and he was like, "Hope it was worth it, man. Hope it was fucking worth it." And he like had to go pick up his bumper because it fell off. So he's like walking back carrying his bumper. "Oh, it's fucking worth it, man."
That's great.
It was like, yeah, whatever. Pay up, bitch. And he did.
Did did I tell you this was earlier this year? A couple months ago, I should say. I had a gun pulled on me while I was driving.
Like he was driving and he went like this, right? While he was driving.
Well, more than that. That started with that,
Fucking
and
need a toothpick.
this is what was crazy. Was the what started was I was in the left lane, he was in the far right lane, and we both tried to merge into the middle lane. And he was
Mm-hmm.
a tad behind me. So like neither one of us, I don't think neither one of us really saw each other. And it was one of those, oh, whoa, like saw you just in time. And we both went like this. And then he just rode next to me the whole time, like swerving into me and putting his gun up like this. And when I finally went to go take my exit, now I'm in the right side. And he could have gone, like left me a long time ago, but he was trying to stay
He
with me.
wanted
Yeah.
to
And so as I took
continue.
my exit, he had pulled out the gun and pointed it at me, which was crazy.
It's insane, but it's
Yeah,
so stupid.
yeah,
It's
it's so
so
stupid.
dumb. People act like that all the time. I got a gun and I can fucking kill you.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, I could kill you too. Like, are we going? Is
Well,
that where we're going? Like, is that
right.
what we're doing right now?
Well, I carry all the time now, and so but at that time it was like in my backpack, so I took it out and stuck it in my lap because if he was gonna follow me to my work, like
Yeah, at
that would
that
I mean
point,
he
it's like, yeah,
yeah, either that or like people would say like drive to the police station or something.
I would call the cops. Yeah, I would call the cops and say,
Yeah,
there's a guy that pulled a gun on me. He's following me.
yeah,
Even though it's a bitch move to be
yeah.
like,
Not really.
officers,
It's
I
smart.
don't think it's a bitch move, but I mean,
No,
like, some people
it's
might be like, you didn't stand your ground. What?
yeah, so that I could, if I
Get
did
shot.
or
Yeah.
or
Kill
shot
somebody.
somebody and had to
Yeah.
live with that.
There's so many people that talk tough though. Like I see it all the time. People, especially in Alaska, when they're like, that motherfucker was driving like that, I would have fucking done
Yeah, of
this and
course,
done
yeah.
that. It's like, really? Really? But I think some of them would. I think people are just crazy.
Yeah, yeah. I think because they don't think it through. They're not rational.
There's a lot of people in Alaska that are like, but it's if more people were armed and more people got shot for being dummies, I think it might like weed out those people.
Yeah, maybe.
And then it would weed them out and it would determine who was actually serious about it. Like if that guy that did that to you actually thought there was a pretty good chance that you were gonna pull a gun as well and shoot him, like if that was actually like in his mind, he was
Right.
just trying to like own you basically.
Yeah, yeah.
They all do. That's what everyone does when they get mad in road rage. They try to like own you and be like, "You're my bitch on the road now,
Yeah.
motherfucker." And so that's what he's trying to do. He's trying to intimidate you.
But
And
it's happened a couple times in this state where people have pulled guns out and shot people on the road, so or tried to shoot them or shot their
yeah,
car.
yeah, yeah. But if he actually thought there was like a really high probability that you were gonna pull a gun and shoot him too,
Yeah,
like,
if he actually
then he,
thought rationally about it. Yeah.
which maybe they would if it wasn't often so one-sided. If it wasn't so often like the dude that was being the dick like him, he's the one who usually gets out and shoots the other. It's not usual that that person walks up to the window with the gun and then like the guy like you was just like boom.
Right.
It's
Yeah.
always the dick that gets out of his car and shoots the other guy.
Yeah, it's true.
So
Somebody once asked me because most people in this state probably don't like firearms. They'll be then
it's
they
like
find out
those
I
are
carry.
aggressive. Those are
Well, yeah,
aggressive.
and it's like, well, you've never shot one, but it's like they're like, do you think you could shoot somebody? And I said, if I had to, like if somebody broke into the house and with like Jess and the kids and
Now
threatening,
that's a
like,
pussy
yeah,
that's a
yeah,
pussy question.
yeah, it's
Like
like
I
I
understand
can
a woman asking
absolutely.
you that. Like I understand a woman saying like I
It
like
was,
are you serious? Because like I feel like that's the difference between a man and a woman. Is like
yeah,
yes, I could pull the trigger to protect my family for sure.
yeah, yeah,
I mean
and
sure, and a
that's
lot of women could do that too. But you usually see more often in women than men are the ones who are like I can't do that. I can't take a life. But like a
yeah.
man, like not able to. That's sad. That's sad, dude. It's
What
like,
I
do you
also
not care
said, I
about
don't.
anything more than yourself? Like,
Right. I also said though, I'm like, it's not that I think that I'd be immune to the backlash of like my mental stability. Like I'm sure like that would probably traumatize me in a one sense to see that I just took a life, but I
nah,
wouldn't regret my decision. Well, I mean, I
I don't
just don't
think
know.
so.
Right? You just
I
don't
think
know.
if someone came in and was like, "I'm gonna kill you and rape your wife," you'd be like, "I'm
Yeah.
gonna kill you and I don't give a fuck," and then I'm gonna sleep like a baby, knowing that
um,
I made the world a better place. Like what do I care? I literally like made the world a better place. Like that's why you have the right to defend yourself,
yeah,
right?
and then the family comes in and be like, "You killed my son," and it's like,
Yeah, and he
"Yeah,
came
you,
into my house
yeah,
and was threatening
yeah,
violence. Like
yeah,
that's what happened. That's the best. That's like that's way better than turning him over to the police.
yeah." That's true. Well, it's another thing you're always taught is if you have to shoot somebody, shoot to kill. So no
Yeah,
witnesses,
dude.
not no witnesses, but nobody to argue against you.
Like I don't like the sad killing of somebody would be if they were like really mentally unstable and they broke into your
Oh
house
yeah.
and they were like didn't really know what they were doing, or like they were like just looking for some money, but they weren't like a violent person, that might be kind of sad because you'd be like, that, they were like more or less kind, but
Yeah,
making
do
a
you
bad
remember
choice.
when I was younger, somebody broke
Broke into
into,
your house, yeah,
yeah, not really
and your
necessarily broke
dad
in, but well, so they were at the
subdued
lodge,
them.
right? So it was
Huh?
New Year's. They were at the lodge, my parents. Uh,
Oh.
but it was New Year's, and so they were just there celebrating. And I was like up in their room watching TV or something, and the dogs are freaking out. And I come down, and this random lady is in the house, and her like shirt's all ripped up, and she's a little bloody, and she just like takes her shoes off, grabs an orange, like she was completely harmless at the moment.
Then you got out your gun and just bah, 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 bah.
No, no, I called my dad and he was there so fast. And for like that, and I had gone upstairs and the dogs kept her from going upstairs. It was crazy. It was really cool. But then I think when she saw my dad's headlights flash like in the driveway, she shut the lights off and hid like kind of next to the fridge, like right in front of all the steak knives and stuff too. And I come down, the lights are off, and dad's like, "Where are they? Where are they?" And I'm like trying to get my
Your
eyes
dad's like,
adjusted.
this
I'm
is
like,
the moment I've trained for my whole life.
I was like, right there. And so he didn't know if it was a woman or a man. I couldn't really tell either. Um, but he like picked them up and threw them on the ground and then heard, ow, 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 ow. And he's like, oh. And then he goes,
Just a woman.
this is the funny part. I feel like people are going to like think about or like find this funny. But he's like, go upstairs and grab my handcuffs in my drawer.
That's awesome.
Yeah. And then like had her handcuffed and it took 4 hours for the troopers to get there.
Yeah, see? That's
She's
what
like, "Can I
happens,
have a
man.
cigarette?" My dad's like, "No."
Fuck off. Gosh. That's why you're like, man, maybe I should have shot you.
I guess that she had gotten in a fight at the lodge that night and
Yeah.
got kicked out, and that's why she was all ripped up.
Yeah, I mean, the sad thing is that as much as we like to imagine this like homeless person that just fell on hard times and has a heart of gold, but really they've done nothing, it's like usually they're kind of fuckers though.
Oh yeah, yeah,
Like if you have any experience with the homeless, it's like you just said, they're like, you know, can I bum a cigarette?
yeah, yeah.
Like, I need
Yeah.
money to get back to see my family and everything's so bad and like I didn't, my car is broke down and I don't know what to do, and you're like, I'm sorry, I don't have. Can I at least have a cigarette? You have a cigarette? Get the fuck out of here, man. I'm so sick of home. It sucks. I don't want to be the guy that's like not sympathetic anymore.
No, it's you get some fatigue from it.
You get jaded, man. You fucking riffraff. Scumbags everywhere, And I don't want to be like that because, like, well, actually, I thought of this just recently because um, back when I lived in the apartment in Anchorage, I only had one vehicle. I didn't have like, I was kind of getting on my feet, and I I needed to get Hannah to work, and my battery was dead, and I was like, I don't know what to do, and so I had my jumper cables and I was standing in the front, like waiting for a car to
Somebody to
drive by, and some dude in this really nice like F-250 brand new pulled in across the road. Some dude, some sloper looking like, guy with money. He pulled in over there and like marched into the house and then came out, and I think he was having like a rough time. I don't know what was going on. But when he came out, I was like, hey, would you mind like just real quick, like helping me jump my car? And like he was like, it was like when I was talking, he was like, what's this noise? Like, shut the fuck up. And then he was just like, no. And then got in his car and like drove away. And
dang.
I was like, fuck everyone, fuck the world. But then I said, you know what? I don't ever want to be in the position where I have to rely upon the generosity of strangers, of people in general, because that's when you hate people the most, right? When you need help and no one's willing to give it, it makes you the most upset. right?
Oh
So
yeah.
don't so I don't ever I and it made it like really fucked with me. So I was like, I'm gonna get another vehicle. I'm gonna get set up, and so like that's been my goal since then is like try to build a life where I don't need help from anyone. And so
Yeah.
if I really, really do need help, right? Like people typically surprise me by helping me, and then it feels good, right? If someone volunteers to help you and you're not like out like begging for it, it's like it feels good because you're like, oh, I wasn't asking, and they just, they're a good person. But if you're like out asking for help and people are just rejecting you, like, no, 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 then you're like, you lose faith in humanity real quick. But I
Well,
brought
let
that
me
up
ask you
because
this then.
okay, go ahead.
Would you pull over and help somebody on the side of the road to jump the car
So
then?
yesterday, Hannah was driving my truck to work, and she called me when she was getting ready to leave, and she's like, "One of my coworkers just came up to me and like needs me to jump her car, and I don't know how to do it, and blah blah blah." I was like, "Just fucking leave. Just leave."
You're
I
the
was like,
worst.
"Don't." I was like, "Don't do it."
It's so
I
easy to
was
even
literally that
tell.
guy, dude. I was that guy. Like, I was like, what is this nonsense? Shut the fuck up. Like, what? What is, I don't need this problem. Go away.
Oh, it's
And
funny.
then, she was like, I was like, and Hannah was like, yeah, I don't know how to do it. And the lady was like, my husband he can walk us through it on the phone. And then I was like, then after like a couple seconds, I think it clicked with me, like, I'm being, I'm being that guy.
Yeah, the guy
And
that
so I was
traumatized you.
yeah, so I was like, yeah, go ahead, help her out. And then she did. And I was like, wow, it's crazy when the shoe's on the other foot, you turn into the fucking douchebag and don't think twice, right?
Well, and Hannah learned a new skill. I mean, if you want to call it a skill, but a
Yeah.
new tool in her
And
arsenal.
she felt good about herself for being able to assist her coworker. It made her feel good. And I felt good too after it was done. But in the circumstances were a little bit different because I wasn't there, and I was like
Right.
thinking, don't fuck up my car,
Oh
right?
yeah.
I was
Yeah.
imagining these girls with jumper cables like exploding their hands or things, and like,
Yeah.
don't do something like dangerous that you don't know how to do. But once her husband said he would walk them through it, I was like, I don't think they're gonna be able to do too much damage. So go ahead. But
Yeah. Yeah.
I was a little callous, but actually in Vegas, we passed a guy who was definitely like skeevy, kind of homeless looking, and he was pulled over with his hood up, and he just needed a jumper. So I stopped and jumped him, and he was like, "Thank you so much. I'm gonna
With a
go buy
rental
some
car?
crack now." Huh?
With a rental car?
No, it was like some beat up old. No, it was I was
Yours.
driving my mom's car.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. I was like, I bet insurance would not want to hear about, or rentals wouldn't want to hear
No,
about that.
no, I was with my mom, and so we stopped and helped him out, and I felt pretty good about that because I was like, I don't think very many people would have stopped and helped him because he looked like pretty rough,
Yeah.
and people look at that and they go, "You deserve it." There's this kind of that when you see someone that you're like, it's like what we just said,
When they
like
look
when
a
you
little
see,
sketchy.
yeah, you're like, you did something to end up in this situation. I'm not helping you. It's like, you might be the person who leads that person to change their ways. And
Yeah.
that's the whole problem with like becoming too jaded because you're like, there is like 99.99% of people that you help that are doing the wrong shit are just, you're just enabling them to keep doing the wrong shit. So it's really like you're wasting your resources and you're contributing to their spiraling out of control. However, um, you know, there is like the rare case where your warmth that you extend, it reaches them at just the right moment in their life, and then they're like, oh wow, I've been, it's like a whole, like, we spoke with this girl she was in prison for like 4 years, 4 or 5 years for like selling drugs and doing all kinds of crazy stuff. And she had grown up in like a really rough upbringing. And so she said her whole like mental framework was like, take what you can get when you can get it. Like that was her mentality.
Mm.
And so when she went to prison, she's like, that was the mentality of the girls that she was in prison with too. They all were there. That's like the prison mentality. It's like, take what you
Oh
can get
yeah.
when you can
Yeah.
get it. And then she said that, the nuns would come to the prison and like they would do art time with them and do like coloring and drawing. And so she would like sit with these nuns that were really sweet and didn't like want anything besides just like be there to try to like give them some warmth and compassion. And she said after arts and crafts, they were all back in their hall or whatever, and one of the girls was like flashing around. She's like, check this out, I stole all the nuns coloring crayons. And she was like
Oh,
really
geez.
proud of herself. And she said that moment to her, that flipped the switch, and she was like, I'm going to be a better person, because they're literally just here to be nice to you, but you're stuck in the mentality of, I gotta take what I can. And it's like,
Mhm.
that's not strength, it's fear, right? And so it was an epiphany that she had. So it
The
can
fear of
happen.
not having crayons.
Yeah, and to flip it from like your hostile, defensive, violent behavior is really just, you're just acting out of fear from feeling like you need to, you know,
It's just
protect
like when
yourself.
we're in high school, the people that constantly get in trouble to do just to either be cool or like you said, out of fear. And it's like you see it, like the stoner kids do stupid shit and you're like, you look dumb. But then to
Yeah.
their friends, they're like, you look awesome. Like their other stoner friends. So the people in prison are like, nice way to steal those crayons.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, but when you steal from someone, that's the whole thing. When someone reaches out to you, uh, like, defenselessly, and then you bite them, right?
Mhm.
Then I think that's where the self-reflection can usually, and this can tie into the road rage and all the other stuff and politics and whatever. The problem is that those people, like the stoners and stuff, are really good at antagonizing you and getting you to a state where you're acting like a dick too.
Mhm.
And then they can justify to themselves, like, well, they're being a dick, so I can be a dick, and that's just how this works. Like, life
Yeah.
is just people fighting. But if you approach them and you're like, hey, I'm sorry, like, be like Jesus, I'm sorry you feel like that. Like, I didn't mean to upset you. I care about you. You know, I want the best for you. And then they're still being an asshole. Then it's like, you're not ready yet to like face the truth. But on our bus, I remember one girl who was being a fucking bitch, and she was still young, but she was getting it from her older sister. Like, she was mimicking the behavior of, like, and she was just like, fuck you, and I was like, and she's like, well, I hate you. And I said, that sucks, because, I really like you. I think you're a nice person, and I think we could get along really well if you weren't, like,
I feel
so
like
angry.
you
And
were
then she
probably also trying to antagonize her with that.
no, she completely changed. I was being sincere. Like, I was being sincere, and she dropped it, like, right away. And she was nice after that to me. She was really sweet.
That's good.
But yeah, if we approach politics like that, people would people wouldn't be so, I think we would be in a better place. Like, if you approach someone that was just like, we know our political opinions, and we know what's like wrong, right? But
Mhm.
a lot of times what's you can't prove your point by degrading the other person's
Right.
position.
Well, I
So
find that s- this is why I just kind of get off Facebook too, is that because Facebook tries to antagonize you, right? And it tries to divide you. And so when you have these conversations outside of something like social media that controls the conversation, you end up agreeing with this person a lot more than they think you would. Like
mhm.
we're always told, this is more politics related, but you know, if you're right, you're so far right, and if you're left, you're so far left, and you have to power those points home. But then you talk to somebody and you're like, oh no, I don't believe that all abortion is wrong. And this person's like, oh yeah, and I don't believe that you should be able to kill a baby at any point in the pregnancy.
Yeah.
And it's like, yeah, we pretty much align. We're probably just a little bit more side, of the line than
Uh,
the other. But if you have these conversations in person, they're almost 95% of the time, as long as you're not being an asshole, they go really well. And you end up liking that person more, respecting them more.
Yeah, and then when I'm in that situation, I'm like, why did I feel like I had to be why did I feel like it was an all or nothing
Right.
position, right? Like, why did I feel like in order to believe the truth, I also have to agree with all of these other points as well when I don't necessarily, right? Like
Right.
I can have a nuanced position and say, I think this part of that's good. I think this part of that's bad, right? That's
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
But we're
Agreed.
taught that it's like it's all or nothing. Like it's either truth or lies.
Right.
And it's
Because
all truth or it's all lies.
each side has their alt definition of something, and then you get the talking points against that, and they're so far left or they're so far right talking points instead of like just understanding what you really believe instead of what you're told to believe or align yourself with. And I feel like that's what a lot of people don't understand, and so that's why you see them go on social media and they just go hard in the paint with their super alternative uh I don't even know ideas that they're just basically told to believe.
They're not alternative ideas though. You mean alternative
Alt.
to you.
Yes. Yeah.
Cause Cause I would say that's pretty mainstream at this point to be
Yeah.
really extreme.
Yeah. Yeah. But
Like
like,
extreme left, extreme right. There doesn't seem to be a middle too much anymore.
but there is if you actually sit and talk to people
Yeah.
instead of like, and that's just, and you can't do that on Facebook because people
We also
just,
have to realize everyone believes something that you don't believe.
and that's okay.
Yeah, everyone has an idea that's totally wrong. Like they might be right about 9 out of 10 things, but that 10th thing, they're fucking way off, right? And it doesn't mean they're stupid or crazy or whatever. And just appreciate the things that you can agree about and use those to move forward rather than getting hung up on the one thing and then using that to just completely stall out any progress, right?
Yeah. You
We don't
basically end up
agree about,
defining them by that one.
yeah, you're fucking psycho, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
And
It,
okay, buddy. Like, bye.
it's like
Those
what
are the
they
type of
do.
people that it's easy to just like, yeah, I don't need you in my life.
Well, they did that with RFK,
Hmm.
you know?
Yeah. They
Like
all loved him
they loved
until they
him,
didn't.
but then when he aligns with the right, they find everything that is not scientifically accurate or can sound not scientifically accurate, and they put that forward and they're like, look, he just believes only crazy shit. And it's like, I mean, he's an old dude and like, and hey, look, like there's some wisdom in like a lot of what old people say that might not be totally like 100%, but you're like, I get why you think that or whatever. But if it's coming from a good place, like I think we should like we should be more understanding.
Receptive. Yeah.
Yeah, receptive. Like dude's doing a bunch of things right, and if he said some dumb shit, I don't really care. Like everybody I know, I talk to say some wild shit sometimes. Like just
Hmm.
about everyone says some shit where I'm like, you sound like a nut, right? But I know you well enough to know you're not nuts. You just have a one thing that you're way out in the weeds,
Right.
on.
Well, the
It's like
thing
when we
with
sat and
RFK,
talked
which
to
is
it to.
funny,
Oh, go ahead. Yeah.
I was just saying with him, like you said, until he had identified or didn't he aligned himself with a more right wing party, basically so he can get in and get the
Because
job
they
that he
iced him
wanted to get
out
done.
because the
Yeah,
left iced him out. Yeah,
but
he didn't have a
he
choice.
was in like a talking to Congress, and he's like, "You were all my friends." Like last year, you all loved my ideas and what I wanted to do until I decided to endorse
Not
Donald Trump.
not
And
hate Trump essentially. That's it.
yeah, and what had happened? He got into a position. He didn't need the presidency. He got into the Department of Health and are making the changes that he really wanted to. And so far, they look pretty dang good to me.
Yeah, and if you're on the left or the right, but in this example the left, you just pushed one of your people into the arms of the person you hate the most. So how
Hmm.
intelligent is that,
Right,
right? This is somebody that RFK used to write about disliking very much. Like
right.
I read his Anthony Fauci book and he said some pretty harsh, not nice things about Trump.
Oh,
But
okay.
since everyone, like, he was not a fan, but since everyone else was real mean to him and Trump was the one who's like, hey, I'll be your buddy,
Yeah,
then that you just flipped him into
Hmm.
a fan of Trump because Trump was like literally the most like reasonable person with him.
Yeah.
It's not smart. That's why you're seeing people becoming more extreme because
Hmm.
you're not giving them a home in your party. You know,
Yeah. No,
that's the
I
problem with the
agree.
left for sure.
Correct. Yeah.
It's not open.
No, they're not tolerant. Like
Yeah,
it used to be the tolerant party. It's actually, it's really funny. I'm sure we've all seen it. You've seen like, you know, the Democratic Party in the 70s and they're hippies and they're like, no government. And now like conservatives are like, be healthy and less government. And then the
except
Democrats are like,
for
no.
the fucking foreign aid stuff.
Yeah. Yeah,
That's
that's
not
an
small
interesting.
government behavior.
No, no,
That's
no, but
taken massive amounts of my tax money to
correct. Which we can definitely touch on how much
build
we,
empire, do empire building shit.
yeah, it's like the game of Risk.
Yeah. So they're like small government in one sense, but that seems to be a rift within the party is that there's the isolationist people and then there's the people who are like expand,
Yeah,
you know.
yeah. That's why, because
Take
it's not just right or left anymore. Not that it always has been, but or, there's just a lot more people that are in the middle than ever. Just more common sense. Make
I
sense common
remember
again.
last election there was my buddy that I worked on some films. We knew each other through like some film stuff, and then we were playing games together on online, and we were talking back and forth, and he started getting like really mouthy about. He had been really mouthy about politics for like a long time, and like obviously you ignore it, and then you're like, I gotta straighten this guy out a little bit, and I was like, I just kind of like started easing him in, like, well, like, what's your problem with Trump? And he's a fucking racist, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, what would you say if you found out I voted for Trump? And it was like, dude, it was like literally like I walked up to him and I was like, I rape kids. That was his reaction. Was like it was like he shrunk in front of me. It's like he realized he had been spending time with the enemy,
Yeah,
right?
that's pretty crazy. That's crazy that people think like that.
I fucking kill people.
Yeah.
I'm a murderer. What do you think about that? Then he's just like, do I call
That's
the
like
police? Like
that's
he
like
literally
basically
like
what
his
he heard.
reaction,
Yeah.
he stalled out, man. He stalled out and he was like, what? And then after that, it was like he stopped talking to me so much, and I was like, oh
Wow.
fuck you, you fucking bitch.
Yeah, and you liked me up until then. It's kind of interesting.
Yeah, well, I was like, dude, I'm getting tired of like sitting and listening to you say like shit that's like wrong, wrong, wrong,
Yeah,
wrong,
yeah.
wrong, 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 like over and over, and it's just like, and I don't want to do it, but then you're like, oh, I can see why this part of your life isn't going well. I can see why this part of your life isn't going well because you hold all of these like wrong beliefs, and if you stop doing that, you would be in a different situation. But people that work for like government and like nonprofit things, a lot of times it puts them in a position where they can hold beliefs like that because for one, they're putting their money where their mouth is. They're helping out people who are in bad situations. So you can't argue so much like with them because they're like, no, I really am doing what I think is right, which is cool. Like totally,
Yeah, but
like
you don't have to be a liberal to do that. I worked in nonprofits for years.
you don't have to be a liberal,
Right.
but if you are a liberal and you do also do that stuff, it makes it harder to argue with you because you have the defense of your position of like, well, I actually like do help people a lot
Yeah,
because I
but
do care about
I
people.
I do too.
Right,
Like,
right. But
you know what I
normally
mean?
I would say like, well, if you care so much, why don't you go do it? Why don't you
Oh
go
yeah,
put your
sure.
money where your mouth is and help people? And they're like, well, I do. I was like, all right, fair
Yeah,
enough. But you're also getting paid by the government programs that I think are given too much money, right? I think
sure.
that they're misappropriating the money. But then since you're like this particular person is in it, like working in that industry, and gets to see how the money is being appropriated and who it's helping. They have more firsthand experience than I do, so I kind of sound like a dick. They're like, well, I actually work with the homeless people, and I see how they, who gets on their feet and who doesn't. And I'm like, I think you're lying, but I can't prove that, right?
Sure, yeah.
I think they
Uh,
fuck up those housing projects that you're putting them in. And, no, they don't. They take care of it. All right, fine. I can't prove my point, but I still know human nature. But whatever, you like helping. That's fine. You like help. I understand people who are like so fucking deeply compassionate that they're willing to give you the clothes off their back. I get why they hate Trump and hardcore conservatives that are like, cut all of the programs. Like
sure, yeah.
I do get it if you're like that. I understand that it's hard for me to disagree with that position so much.
I would say just because you brought up like the homeless, like that I worked, when I worked in Alaska for that nonprofit, like they really do help the homeless like
Mm-hmm.
a lot. They have a lot of different programs for that.
Good,
Yeah.
man.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And so
that's
that,
good.
and then I know
You
a lot of
fucking
conservative
liberal.
people that work there.
Yeah.
Me.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
fucking liberal fucking hippie
Yeah,
spending
what
my
has
tax
Seattle
money.
done to me? Yeah.
No, dude, I don't care. Like, I do like helping people. Like, literally, like, I feel like I have a more nuanced perspective than a lot of people do. Uh, The whole battle between left and right, to me, not the whole battle, but I think a big part of it for me does come down to, like, when is it appropriate to be compassionate and when is it appropriate to be conservative or pragmatic, right? Like, you have, like, logic and, like, calculations and like here's the budget, here's what we have, here's how much it's going to fuck us if we spend this money.
Hmm.
Therefore, I'm not taking into consideration the human cost here. Or I am, but the human cost is just getting factored into the numbers. It's not so much like I'm not using my heart in this as much as I am looking at like, well, downstream, this is going to hurt more people than right now it's helping, right? To feed this many people right now might feel good because they're really desperate and they're going to starve if we don't feed them. However, if we take that money and feed them now, we're going to have this problem here and it's going to actually result in more people being hurt, right?
Right.
So therefore, I am using my scientific, not my heart. I'm using my logic to say these people got to go to preserve these people here in the future, right? And as somebody who's compassionate, you're going to cry when those people die. And if you're really, really, really compassionate, you're going to like fight me tooth and nail to get that money to save these people now because you're going to say, we can figure that out later. We'll figure it out. But it's like, that's what keeps getting you into the situation where you're
Hmm.
spending money you don't have is because and you know what I mean? Like, so that's just one example, but that's kind of the core of the issue to me, which is like we have compassion, which is like feminine, and then you have like the strength and preservation, which is the masculine, and there's a constant like push and pull between those two forces. And so certain times like being compassionate is the way to go, and at certain times like you got to put your foot down and be
Right.
hardcore.
Because the idea is
But
that they, not
yeah,
necessarily cancel each other out, but they make those two ideas make for probably progress, I would say. There's time for
yeah.
compassion, there's time to be not a dictator, but
Well, it's like friction creates energy, and energy is everything,
right.
right? So like those two forces create friction with each other, and then that's the energy that drives us. And it's uncomfortable, but you need the friction. You need the friction. You need democracy. You need competing ideas, and yeah, hopefully you end up coming to a somewhere in the middle that works for everyone. But I
Well,
guess the
I
argument,
imagine
yeah,
that's why, unless, everything is rigged, that's why we go through, ebbs and flows of Democrats and conservatives being
for
in
sure.
office.
Yeah, for sure.
And
Absolutely.
not that I have ever voted for the D, but yeah. But one thing that you said, or something you said, made me think about how when you right now, the world we live in now, when you align yourself with, you know, for me, the conservative values, the more extreme people on the left believe that everything that Donald Trump believes, you must believe too, and you must love everything he does. Therefore, you're the enemy. And I think that's where the real problem is, because I vote for what I think is going to help me and my family, to where they think I'm just voting to end democracy.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah,
And that goes on both sides, but
the problem is that there's so many disingenuous actors on both sides
right.
that they end up using their own people as cannon fodder. So like the problem with identity politics is like these are like high level concepts for people to understand because people get hung up in you saying something that directly affects them. They're going to take that personally. So the best way for the left or the right, I suppose, to um to win their position is to put their people in the line of fire of the other side, right? So
Give
if
me an
you can turn
example.
something into a black issue,
Oh,
you're
yeah.
putting black people in the line of fire. And so if the conservatives have to do something that negatively affects the black community, then it's no longer the same argument. And it's the same thing with gay people or whatever. Like I think before, like back when the Democrat Party was like a cooler party to be associated with, they were like sticking up for the small guy. Like it
Hmm.
was not something where the issues drove the position. So like if you got these guys over here who are like really in a bad situation and they're starving and they need help and they're not getting what they deserve, then in practical purpose, the Democrats were supposed to come in and help those people get out of that situation that they were in, or like stand up for the small guy. That was the idea, right? Standing up for the small guy. Now I think what they do, what it appears that they do, is they create victims. They don't find
Right.
victims to defend. They create victims
Absolutely. Yeah.
to be offended. And
Yeah.
so that's not an honest game anymore. We can't take that seriously, and then that's creating a problem because it's like I can't take you seriously if you are claiming victim status over everything to because then I know you're just doing it to stop me,
Right.
right? And
And the
so then that
biggest one I
yeah
could think of in recent history is the BLM movement and George Floyd. They turned that into so anti-factual and a corrupt uh, movement. Uh, but for a while, they had everybody assuming, oh, if you don't agree with BLM, then you're a racist. So that's not
yeah
just a good opt or a good
good
example of how they
example.
created. Yeah, they create the victims.
If you
Not
take
that. Yeah.
literally any protected group on the left, take your pick.
Yeah.
Uh, it's the same thing though, and then the argument becomes like, well, the right is targeting this group or whatever, so they're homophobic or they're transphobic or they're racist or whatever. It's like these are a lot of cases they're victim classes that are created. Well, look at what was it? Jesse Smollett was that example from a
Yeah.
long time ago.
Yeah.
He created a fake outrage hoax to
Hmm.
try to further the point, and that was that was just one that we found that we caught him in the act
Right.
of doing that, and he was just some dumb actor. And
Right.
then you got to imagine there's all these high level political agitators, people working in like intelligence agencies and things that are like really good at this stuff. So
Yeah.
then it just makes you question all of it, right? Like everything you see that's meant to emotionally affect you, you have to wonder like, is this just a manufactured thing to try
I
to
mean,
like
I feel like everything on both sides now. I'm always like, is this real? Is this fake?
it
Is
does
this
it's not,
manufactured?
dude, none of it's real. Then you come to
I
the
know.
conclusion that none of it's real.
Yeah.
And I
And
don't
it's
like any of them.
no,
I
I
don't
mean,
like any of it. And then you're free. You're fucking free from the matrix, dude. You're like,
yeah.
I'm done with all of it.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
that's where I'm at.
yeah.
I'm not a fucking Republican or a Democrat. I'm a everyone's fucking dumb. I mean,
America
not
first.
everyone's, yeah, not everyone's dumb, but everyone who's plugged into this shit and believes it is being duped. And the biggest dupes are the ones who are upending their own lives to become pawns. And I
Hmm.
can't go any further into that particular thing without becoming massively offensive to certain people
Yeah,
because
yep,
they've
same.
cultivated their whole fucking identity around something that's not even real to make themselves victims, to make themselves, I don't know why they do it, to feel like they're a part of something, maybe.
And it's because they don't have the ability to question anything. They just believe exactly what they're told and what they watch, and they do not
Because
question
it's
anything.
too destabilizing to think for yourself. It's
Yeah,
too
well,
destabilizing not to be given a list of like directions. Like during
hmm
COVID, when you would walk down the aisles and there was arrows pointing which direction that you were allowed to walk down the aisle, and you're like, why the fuck do I need arrows telling me
yeah.
what aisles I can walk? And there were people that would get fucking mad
Very
at
upset
you
about it, yeah.
if you didn't stand on the little box that said it's 3 feet away from the guy in front of you. There were
Six
people that,
feet.
whatever it was, see, and they would get fucking mad. And it's
Yeah.
like, really? I'm standing an inch off of the box and it's upsetting you? That's going to be the difference? That's going to get you sick?
I
There's
was,
people that need that shit. That's
yeah.
my point.
No, I
And if they
agree.
don't
They,
have it, their whole life is out. They think everything's going to come to an end. I know because I talked to someone like this and I didn't know that they were like that. And it was right after kind of COVID happened and you kind of assess the situation and you're like, well, they say it's bad, but it doesn't appear like it's like The Walking Dead right now. Like you would think if it was Ebola or something, like in a short while you'd see like people getting like you would visually see but I'm like, I don't see people dying. Everyone I talk to is still alive. It's not as
yeah. And they're
bad.
like,
You could,
I just kind of had a cold.
yeah, you can kind of assess it yourself after not very long cuz like I think the I think I actually handled this in the perfect way cuz I started out like extremely concerned, right? Like at first I'm like, okay, I'm either gonna die or I'm not, right? That's gonna be what's gonna happen. So accept that right off the bat. Nothing I can really do about it, and then take every precaution in the beginning, and then scale those back as you kind of like
Sounds
really
like common
truly
sense to me.
establish the threat
Yeah,
level. And
yeah,
then within like a couple of like a week, I went from like mask, gloves, fucking disinfecting all of my shit, making
yeah.
sure and like shutting the doors. Like I was like, okay, scale it back, scale it back, scale it back. And
Did
then
you wear
within a week,
gloves?
well, the first couple days when I'm like, I need groceries and shit, and I'm
Or
like,
they're
is
like,
there
you're getting
fucking,
it at the gas station.
yeah, I'm like, is there bacteria like that I'm bringing into my house from, so I was cleaning shit for like the first few days. And then after that, you kind of realize, you know, and then you can kind of make an assessment yourself. But like that's right around the time that like they started coming on the TV and they're like, no, do not think for yourself, motherfucker. It's
Yeah.
not safe. And let
And
us
they're like,
prove to you why it's not.
we're gonna close down for 2 weeks to until the curve
Slow the
dropped with the
spread.
slow
Yeah.
whatever it was. It's like, and then it was 2 weeks, then it was four
Flatten the
weeks, then it was six
curve.
weeks.
Yeah.
Yeah, flatten the curve. Thank you. Yeah, and it's just like this is ridiculous. Everybody I know that has gotten COVID has been absolutely fine. Not that people didn't die from it.
People
Like
totally died.
older folks, I was like, I get you needing or wanting to get the vaccine. You're more at risk. I'm not at risk. My kids are not at risk. I mean, I was Jess and I were just both very grateful that the boys didn't get the vaccine because at that time there was, two other people that had to agree with us and they did, and it's like, oh, hallelujah.
Yeah, dude. It was a
And then you get
really,
judged for not getting it, and now it's like, I hope you see how I was right now.
they don't
Like,
though.
no, they keep getting their boosters.
But see, that's the thing that you realize during COVID. That's the thing I realized, and a lot of other people realized. That's what broke it all apart. Broke the whole fucking thing. COVID was the biggest mistake that they made. If the goal was to like maintain control, they radicalized a huge swath of the population because the game was so out in the open for us. And
Hmm.
you could see people, like I said, you could see people that really needed that order and structure. And then you could realize, like, I'm not that kind of person, right? Like, I'm not the person who really needs that comfort. Like I was gonna tell you, I spoke to somebody on the phone who right as it was like we were starting to come back and be like, it's not that big of a deal. And I said, some people are gonna be really traumatized by this whole thing and have PTSD. And she went,
Hmm.
ha ha ha, yeah, yeah, for sure. And then I realized like she was one of those people, man. She got her whole family vaccinated, like multiple boosters, and like was taking every like she was shit scared of COVID. I didn't realize it because to me it was unfathomable at that point if you're logical to be that afraid of it, but that's just if you're plugged into the news and stuff. But
Yep,
so
agreed.
yeah, but so you have the big thing that was really frightening about the way the difference between people, the way people think, was you got one in the beginning, you got one thing, one piece of information, and then shortly after, you got a completely conflicting piece of information. And it wasn't like they adjusted the original thing. Well, okay. They said the vaccine stopped the virus. You wouldn't get sick if you had the
Oh yeah.
vaccine, right?
Well, they had to
And
backpedal on
so
that real quick.
yeah, and so everybody that was on a certain particular political persuasion was like, you need to get it, and it's because it stops it from you from getting sick. You won't get sick. And then within like I remember because my wife was at work and she's like, yeah, these people got the vaccine and then they got sick. And I'm like, that's bullshit. They didn't get sick. That's not, they couldn't because it stops them from getting sick. And then it's
Yeah.
like, no, wait, it doesn't.
No,
Like
I
all these
find that
people are
people
getting
that got
sick.
vaccinated have gotten COVID way more.
It
I've
was
had
just
it
so wild.
one time.
Because
Yeah.
I think I trusted the vaccine at that point. I trusted it, but I didn't get
Did
it
you really?
right away.
I never
Well, I
trusted
didn't.
it at all.
Maybe let's say this. I trusted that what they said about it was at least true. I did not trust that it didn't also come with associated risks.
Hmm.
So, do you understand what I'm saying?
Yep.
I
Yep, I do.
trusted that
Yeah.
it stopped you from getting sick. However, I also thought that it's not wise if you don't need to like I still thought getting sick naturally and getting immune to it was better for me than taking a chance with some injecting some foreign shit into my
That
body
they
that was
figured it out
baked
that
up in a
quick.
lab real quick. Yeah.
Yeah.
But then to find out that that wasn't even true, that it didn't stop you from getting sick was like a huge slap in the face because I'm like, they fucking lied. So they really don't either they lied or they don't know much about what they're talking about. But then to hear the people who defended it and were telling you to get it in the beginning to swivel on a dime and change what they were saying to be exactly match the
Right.
new statement, which was like, well, it doesn't stop you from getting sick, but it reduces your symptoms and what was it was reduces your symptoms and it protects you, right? It protects you or something like that.
Yeah.
And they swiveled and then it's like, but you were just saying this and now you're saying that and you don't see that you've actually changed it. They wasn't even registering to them every time things were changing. Every time they change their position, like don't wear masks, do wear masks. Don't they changed right along with it, and they didn't even they like dumped it from their brain immediately. The previous thing that had been said, you couldn't
Right.
argue with
And
them. Like
so
you
weird.
couldn't, yeah, you couldn't argue the point. Like, but don't you remember when you just were saying this and now you're saying that? Doesn't that make you a little bit like,
Why do you think they came out with all these variants so that you have a new booster to get? Because it's like that's like how they handle with the flu, right? They're like, well, if you got the flu, then you don't need to get the shot because you're more immune. And Dr. Fauci said that himself. But then when we started pointing that out, because Fauci had said that and got recorded, and then way after or after COVID got started or had started, he had backpedaled on that and said, "Oh no, you still need to get it for these reasons, like you said." And then when we're all like, "But I already got sick," and he's like, "Well, now there's variants,
yeah,
and now we gotta make sure we're making booster shots for all these variants." And they're like, "Oh, dang, that sounds scary," even though I know nobody who's passed away from COVID.
Well, you're a science denier now at this point.
Well,
We're in the science denial phase of our podcast, and we've
yeah.
literally only been going at it for not very long. And we're already fucking so extreme, dude. What's episode 3 going to be like? We literally
Isn't
did
this
not
episode 3?
stay away from the topics we said we were going to avoid. Because I'm
Well,
sure
at least
people aren't like totally tired of listening to COVID shit at this point, right?
that's true.
No, but it needs to be repeated until it gets hammered into every fucking dumb head
And
that
we're using it as an example of trying to build up your own common sense, right? We're not trying to
yeah,
necessarily debate code itself, but we're just talking about like think about something for yourself. Think about it yourself and stop agreeing with whatever you've been told.
right. But if you agree with COVID, you're not likely to be tuned in at this point anymore.
It's
You
true.
probably shut
Well,
us off
you could
already.
take it out.
But
I had
but if
a
you stayed, good for you, man. Good for you. Because like we're not crazy, and I guess that's the point. That's why there's
yeah.
all of the rapport building between us and this like banter back and forth of establishing this friendship. Because I want people to see without us talking about extreme shit that we're like pretty reasonable people, right? And then we
Right.
can get into the topics, and then you can swivel and say, well, I think they're a piece of shit. But I like to think that
No,
people who have listened to us talk so far we've kind of built up a level of trust.
I think so. And I also, I can say this too. It's like I don't care if you got yourself the shot.
No,
You
dude,
shouldn't
I was
care
on
if
the
I
fence
didn't
about
either.
it. Dude,
Yeah.
I was
Well, no,
close
yeah,
to
I just
getting
mean
it.
anybody. Like if you felt
Yeah.
like you had to get it, that's up to you. I think where I would, and people could disagree with me wholeheartedly on, is I don't think you should be giving it to children.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely not. I don't think anybody should get the shot. Personally, like
Yeah.
if I'm being like I think what you just said is it's kind of loaded because honestly
Mm.
you believe nobody should get it. You should just say that.
Well, no, I didn't know. I said in the beginning that I still believe that the
You think
older
it was good for old
folks,
people to get the shot?
I don't know the science, but I don't blame them for getting it because
Well, I don't
they're
blame
more
anybody for
susceptible.
getting
Yeah,
it.
yeah,
However,
me
I don't
neither,
think they
really.
should get it.
Correct. Yeah, I don't think you should continue to do it.
I
And
don't think old people should get it. I don't think middle-aged people or young people should get it.
yeah, or healthy athletes.
Yeah, I don't think we should draw the line at kids because then what you're essentially saying is you put more of a premium on protecting innocent children, which I understand. But the fact
But
remains,
yeah,
your position is that it's not good for anybody.
correct. But adults can do whatever they want, and I totally believe that, even if I
Well, do you want to
disagree with
talk
you.
about that? Do you want to talk about how adults can do whatever they want, but that
Not what
there should be
within the
protection for?
law, if we're gonna.
No, I get it. Like it's a
Okay,
free
yeah,
country. However, like if we're talking about common sense and shit like that, like of course yeah, of course you're allowed to do it, but if it's
doesn't mean I agree
wrong,
with yeah,
it should be wrong for everyone, right? If it's not good, it should. I guess I see your point. Like it's
yeah,
worse
because
for
you can't.
kids who literally are totally healthy. There's like not a
Yeah,
case to be made that they should be getting it.
right. In fact, there's cases that made that it's more damaging to their heart.
Yeah, yeah, it's bad, dude. The shot was bad, and I almost got it. I almost got. This is gonna sound extreme, right? But I almost got conned into it because I was going into houses doing pictures, and people were like,
Mm-hmm.
"Well, you're gonna give it to whatever. You're putting my clients at risk. You're putting other people at risk." And so I said, "Okay." I was fucking pissed because like this came up when I was at work, and I'm like, I don't want to do this right now, but you're putting me in a situation where like I think I might have to let you go if you can't,
Oh
do
yeah,
this. She'd been like kind of like testing it with me, like they make it so easy. Like if you go in here, they'll even give you a gift card if you do it. Like they have,
yeah.
I'm like I don't
Here's
fucking
some French
care.
fries.
Like yeah, she was like saying that, and I'm like, no, I don't want it, and then that wasn't working. So then she came in with like the hardcore, like, I might have to fire you. And I was like, and then I turned around and I was like, look, you said, like, what is the point of this vaccine, right? It's to protect you, right? It's
So
to
if you
protect.
got it and I didn't, you're fine.
Right. So why do
Yeah.
I need to get it? Right? Why
Mm-hmm.
do I need to get it? If everyone else has it, then it's literally just me that's going to get sick. Now, also on top of that, you also said that the vaccine is supposed to minimize your symptoms, right? So then you're going to be an asymptomatic super spreader. So
Yeah.
technically, it's more dangerous to your clients if I'm asymptomatic and I don't know I have COVID because I got the vaccine, and then I'm just wandering around spreading it. I said, at least if I get sick and I don't have the vaccine, I'm likely to have symptoms, which would mean I would stay home, right? So it's
Right. Yeah.
safer for your clients logically if I don't get the vaccine, right? And then she was just like,
Yeah.
and then she just turned around. She went, Nick, this is a very difficult situation, and I don't really know what's the best thing for anyone right now. I'm like, then why the fuck are you telling me what to do?
It's because you were
Like, I
so
put her in her
prepared with your
fucking
arguments.
place, and she's like, that was totally rational, and I know I'm being. It's like, yeah, so stop telling strong arming people if you don't know shit,
So funny.
right? And then
Well,
I feel terrible saying this, but it needs to be said because it's true. This person died a year later
mm,
from
from what?
Lou Gehrig's. So their body stopped moving. Basically, it started exhibiting like stroke features at first, and then it got to the point where nothing worked, and then they died.
Mm-hmm.
Also, another realtor I know who was a young lady had a stroke. Because like, I haven't seen you for a while. Yeah, I had a stroke. It was totally weird. Like, I don't know what happened. I had a stroke. A friend of mine's father had a stroke. I never heard of anybody having these things. Multiple people suddenly I know are just dying, right?
Yeah.
Very
Yeah.
bizarre. Very bizarre.
Yeah.
I can't claim, you know, to know for a fact what caused it, but
I don't uh I don't know if this was staged. I that's not my disclaimer, but my understanding was there, and I've seen the video of there was a woman comedian talking
oh, the one that
about
collapsed
COVID.
on stage.
Yes, yeah, and I'm like, that's
Yeah,
interesting.
right. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's either a divine act of God,
yeah,
right? It's either God saying, "No, you will not like brazenly lie and just fucking dropped her like a sack of potatoes," or yeah, or it was staged. But I like to think,
But there was also sports commentators. You know, they're sitting down and they're doing their spiel, and then this guy just like falls over. And then
yeah, dude.
there's the young football players that are just passing out and dying on the field and all this crazy stuff.
I think
Do we
it's
do
hmm.
Go ahead. Let's
No, I
go
think
ahead
it
and
was
have
I
your
go into the spirit realm. I think it's a spiritual thing. I think it's spiritual warfare what they're doing right off the bat. And I was not a super spiritual person before all of this crazy stuff, right? But however, what radicalized me and made me become more spiritual, and I'll go a step further and to say Christian, is that if you look at the Bible and you look at the crazy shit that they say the people started doing and how the people started behaving, like pre this era of our civilization, I didn't believe it was possible. I was like, people wouldn't do things like that. People wouldn't cut off their dicks and do like crazy things like all this like stuff that doesn't really make any sense. They wouldn't start believing that like up was down and down was up, and doesn't make sense, right? Like, I just thought there was a certain inherent sense of logic and rationality that people had, and if you didn't believe that, you were a mad person, but mad people were rare, and that was like a psychological disease that was like 1 in a million people would get or whatever. Like, that's how I saw insanity before. I saw insanity as like a disease that some people were unfortunate enough to get, but I never believed the idea of public, like, or how do you call it, like a population becoming insane. That didn't make any
Mm,
sense to me. However, in the past few years, I've witnessed people losing their sense of reality, basic reality, in a way that the Bible said was possible, but I thought was just fantastical speech,
right. Yeah.
right? And as you see people becoming like in mass insane, like even take for example Nazi behavior, right? How could people do something like what the Nazis did? You talk about that, like, doesn't really seem possible until you live through an era like that, and then you go, oh no, people can be convinced to like do some crazy shit, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So I don't know, that's made me become more radicalized spiritually, but that's all I was gonna say.
Yeah, it's great. I was gonna say to wrap up the COVID part, we could talk about the benefits of COVID. Like
The benefits of COVID is in
nobody,
like wealth redistribution or what?
no,
What are you talking about?
like nobody on the road and nobody in the office and no middle seats on flights. I would go back to that.
Well, that is kind of goes into what I was talking about. I made more money during COVID. Lots of
Yeah.
people made money during COVID.
Yeah.
Like I went to rich people's houses and I was like, well, what's up? It's like, dude, I just bought so fucking much stock because it's never
Oh,
been
yeah.
this
Yeah.
cheap before. Or like, dude, in real estate, people were buying houses like nobody's business because the interest rates were so low. People were getting out
But
of
that's
their.
also screwed people now. But
Yeah, but if you had a house that you were paying a high interest rate for that was cheaper, you could sell it and take your whatever your what do you fucking I can't even think right now. The money that you
your
made,
equity,
equity,
equity.
yes, your equity. You take your equity from that house and you could buy a more expensive house and at a
Right.
reduced interest rate, be making similar payments, and
Yeah.
then you'll never get that house again for that price. So people bought their dream houses and then they're like, I'm done, I'm staying here,
Yeah. But
or
there's
they sold
also,
the big out. Yeah.
companies buying all these
Yes,
houses,
which
right?
would
And so
argue
that's,
that this was part of the plan.
oh, sure. Well, it's like,
Totally destabilize the economy.
the conspiracy about how they burned down Maui, all that
This
stuff.
is why you have to be able to think for yourself,
Yeah.
because if you are not at least a little bit on top of shit, like if you're on top of shit, if you're scared, like super scared, you think, well, we're all gonna die, right? But if you're at least a little bit on top of it, you're like, this will pass, right? They're fucking with everything right now, so the economy is all weird. So I better invest money if I have it. Like
Mhm.
that's a smart move. Look at what all the big people were doing. They were not following the protocols. They weren't staying home or doing what they told us we had to do, right? Like get
Yeah.
out and make money while it's good, right? I mean, yeah, like I said, I made more money during COVID than it was huge. Um, but then there was like an aftershock that the rebound was awful.
Yeah. Yeah, that's for sure.
Um,
Definitely working from home is nice, but
yeah, and that
uh
changed everything too. People working from home, they could buy houses in different places because they don't have to be like by the office anymore. It changed a
yeah,
lot of stuff.
the the older generations are still pushing back on that though. They want people back in the office. Just I want to say earlier in 2025 Amazon decided that everybody has to come back, full time and I hated it because it made my commute worse.
Yeah.
Because I do have to go in the office 3 days a week. But I get today working from home. I mean, earlier today when I worked from home.
Well, yeah. Yeah, I don't know. COVID was a thing that happened. We got fucking sucked into that sinkhole. And I think we lost Mark.
I'm back.
Okay, I didn't close it.
That's good. I turn my camera on here. It just said like it lost connection. So I'm
Okay,
back.
so we're back. We'll start right here.
Okay.
Um, so yeah. Anyways, yeah, COVID was a nightmare, but it did expose the critical thinking skills of a lot of people, I think, and it was good for me to have my eyes opened, in a
Yeah.
way.
Yeah. Definitely made me more, skeptical of anything I'm being told is truth. So I have a somewhat gimmicky idea going forward, which would be if, as this being life or whatever, we could have like a wheel and we spin it and it's a whatever topic that
Or
we could
whatever.
talk
Hey, that's a
about.
good idea.
Yeah, just like, all right, this is the what we do weekly to end the podcast, and you spin it, and we can,
That'll be
as
our
we get
next episode.
viewers and people that chat, or we could end the conversation on it, or it could be the next episode, which I like that too.
Oh, so we wrap up with a quick little thing off the
Yeah,
topic wheel.
which could
Okay.
also change. And I was thinking as we gain viewers and people interested, they can tell us in the chat what they would like us to talk about.
What they want to see on the wheel.
Yeah, yeah, get
Yeah, dude,
engaged.
good idea. Is there anything else we should talk about before we wrap up?
Here comes my Great Dane. Hi, you can come in. I don't know if they can see you. Look at this
Or
face. Come here.
can't see. Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's easy. Big face. Look at that face.
The shit eater. Do you give it
Yes.
kisses? Oh,
She didn't do it
nasty.
today.
Still eats shit. Ugh.
uh,
Yeah.
yeah, your dog does too, just so people know.
My dog does, but I do not give my dog kisses.
Well,
Tell
I
him to
didn't
get out
get
of my
one.
face. Yeah.
She's leaving you now. She doesn't like you.
Anything we need to go over? Anything we should go over? Gosh, what were we talking about? We're talking about people and their ability to think for themselves and how COVID exposed a lot of that. And then going forward, like, it would be nice to see people exercising their ability to think for themselves as opposed to
Yeah,
just,
I feel like that was the driving topic today.
yeah, yeah. I don't really know what to add to that.
That's a good recap. You
So we're
can
done.
give ChatGPT our transcript and see where we messed up.
Nah, we're good, man. I don't need ChatGPT to tell me that. When we're doing this together, I think there's more of a confidence on my end of things because it's like, it felt good to me. Like
Yeah, me
speaking
too.
by yourself feels very alien when you're just talking by yourself,
Yeah, yeah, I
There's
get
no
that. That's what
natural.
makes you have to feel like you're on a script. But there's a lot of people out there that do that.
Yeah, and as you
I don't
get
know.
better, you
Yeah,
realize like,
I would say, we had talked about just being, hopefully feeling natural while we're on camera. And I already feel like this is the third or fourth time we've gotten on here, and I already feel better about it.
way, way better. Yeah.
Yeah.
Trying to think topic wise. So I don't know. Do we want to like? I feel like I could exhaust politics really quick.
Yeah. I think people could get exhausted. Yeah. Like
I could
people
exhaust. I
watching,
feel like I
listening in.
basically just said everything I need to say about Like people can extrapolate how I feel about politics from what
I
we
know
just
it's like
talked
we don't
about.
need to go point by point.
No, no,
Yeah.
not unless something real crazy happens.
Yeah. Which has happened in our lifetime. So
Yeah, yeah.
could talk about, I found this new energy drink,
So
but
you're drinking energy drinks?
well, I just to try these because it's clean energy and it's water, but it is carbonated. This is the OG, and it's like it tastes like a freaking Red Bull, which is crazy. But it's called Lucky, and I want to tell you why because it says on the back, by 1 in a 30 million chance, I lived through a plane crash that killed 136 passengers, including my father. Lucky Energy is the story of perseverance, picking yourself back up, and never giving up.
Wow, what a
Like,
product pitch.
I know. I'm like, now I gotta learn this guy's real story. It's all fake. I'm
Yeah,
not gonna
that's
say that. I don't believe that.
he like stood up from the ashes of the plane crash and was like, I need to make an energy drink company.
That's what me and Loud too. for my father.
Father, I'll create an energy drink company to avenge you. Wow. Well, good for him, man. Hopefully that works out. Yeah.
Yeah, that was not a paid sponsorship.
No, it was not a paid. Maybe we can get a lucky sponsorship. That'd be cool.
Yeah, I watched this guy named Robbie Berger from Bob Does Sports, and he'll randomly just have like these feed Bob short episodes, and he'll be like, "This is not an endorsement, but it could be. I'd like it to be."
Whoring himself out.
Yeah, he knows. Yeah.
Dude, I've like when I was kind of doing research prior to us doing this podcast, like yeah, before and stuff, watching other people's amateur podcasts to kind of be like, what's the low level competition like, right?
Hmm.
Like what's our competition look like, and just seeing the way people do their podcasts, and I'm like, oh man, that's why I hate most people. But
Is it
maybe
bad?
it no, I mean I'm bringing it up because it's like maybe we need to do more. Maybe we need to be more like that, or find some way to like. Maybe what I resent about it is that it's not qualities that I possess, but maybe I should possess them. Is like
What?
the like, what's up, dude?
Oh God, I don't know if I can do that.
Are you
I don't
kidding
want to be
me?
fake.
Nah. Like
Oh
dude, I
yeah, I see what you're
never
saying. Yeah,
act like that. I never act
yeah,
like
yeah.
that ever.
Yeah,
It's
there's
not
a couple that I
natural.
do enjoy watching that are like that though.
Is that natural? Do you think that's how they really are? They just taught
I think
themselves to be like that.
maybe I think that there's people that have that are naturally maybe annoying that way, but it's entertaining. Uh, and then I think there's people that probably had to, they're down to teach themselves to be a little ridiculous once in a while.
I try not to resent people like that, but
Dude,
it's
if it
hard.
works, they're hustling.
No. Yeah, good for them, but for me, I just look at it and I'm like, you shill.
Yeah, I mean, I don't
You're trying
even,
so hard to entertain other people, you know.
yeah, but some of it is friggin' funny. Uh,
Yeah.
there's a couple that I enjoy. Like I just see it on TikTok. I'll see their short clips of funny parts where they're doing the gimmicky games where like
Well, and they're
it's
really
easier. It's a
striving to
lot of
be
stuff.
entertainers, right? They're
Yeah,
trying to be
yeah,
entertainers, and then maybe that's the point of why I brought this up. Like, is that what we're trying to be? Like, if we're not trying to be entertaining, what the fuck is this?
right. I think there are things we can do to be entertaining, and there's the things that we probably say that won't be entertaining to a lot of people.
Yeah.
And maybe
Are we
maybe that's
like
entertaining to them and getting triggered.
we calling ourselves like highbrow entertainment, where we're like, we don't do those silly,
I met no, I'm like I was thinking about how like when you come down here, like when we're doing stuff in person, it'd be easier to do some of that fun, like just just funny stuff.
be silly.
Yeah, I mean, yeah,
I feel like I don't
exactly.
have a silly bone anymore. I've been too isolated by myself. Like if someone touches or pokes me or like gets in my space, I automatically am
Yeah,
like do you do that? Like if someone touches me in a friendly way, I automatically look at their hand first
I don't know,
in like
maybe.
a in a very alarmed way. And then I look at them and they usually like recoil when they see my reaction, like oh shit, he's not comfortable with that. And then the part of me kicks in that's like, oh, they're just being nice. Like, and then I smile and I try to be nice back, but it's too late because I already had the first reaction that was like,
Maybe. It just maybe
you know,
depends on who it is. Like if like just a random stranger, I'd be like, "What the hell are you doing?" Or
but
but
some
if even if
people
it's like
do
a
it
acquaintance,
so without thinking, like they just touch you on the shoulder and they're trying to be warm to you, you
yeah.
know, like
I
women,
I
like
do that
older
to
women will
people that I know. That's
and they're all
it.
like move away. Like I've had like an older lady that's just like, oh sweetie, and I'm like, don't
No,
touch.
I guess I'm
It
not that bad.
hurts. I'm
It
bad,
hurts.
man. I'm bad. Yeah. I'm so bad. I fucking hate
You
contact.
you're silly in your own ways. Just like I mean, like you say funny stuff. I'm not
Thank you.
saying like you have silly behaviors.
They call me a
You guys,
retard
look
or
at that.
something.
That was the face you give when someone touches you. You're like, that's what you just gave me.
It's fucking silly. I don't know about that. Yeah. I think we can be silly. I think it's just gonna come with like an ease of and comfort and a not giving a fuckness that it's gonna take a little bit of time. And that's the
Yeah.
whole thing when you look at people that are like baby baby baby, it's like dude they have been doing some form of performance. I went to college with a guy who was like that, and I was like at first I was like I fucking hate you because you possess skills that I do not, like the social skills of being like, I can just like the teacher would like point at him and he'd be like, I got something lined queued up and just say something real clever and people are like, ha 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 ha. And it would be like the perfect thing to say. It's like, fuck you. But then
Yeah,
after he like broke me down after a while of like hanging out with him. I'm like, you know what?
that's funny.
He spent a good amount of time cultivating his skills and he was kind about it too. Like he would encourage you. Like if you did something, he'd be like,
Yeah,
that
it
was
became his
so good.
persona.
Yeah, he's like, dude, you did so good. Like, when they encourage you and they're not snobby, you can't help but to like,
It's funny.
you
It's
know,
like when you're. It's mostly. I feel like I did this a lot when I was a kid. It'd be like you'd be in the shower and you're like, oh, I should have said this or something, done this in this situation. You start replaying it in your head, and you're
and
like, that
you
would have been so
either
much
you
cooler.
beat yourself up about it. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
You ever like manufacture entire scenarios and then start
Oh
like
yeah,
laughing to yourself? You're like,
yeah.
ha, I'm so cool. And you're like, wait, I didn't actually do that. that was my, that
But I would I
was my
would be cool in that
fantasy.
scenario.
Why do I think of it now? Right. Yeah.
Yeah. Or yeah, just there's been instances where I've done the right thing by like walking away from a situation, but like I know that
But
was
you're
the
like, I
right
should have
thing.
caught his hand and been like, turn
Yeah,
around and
exactly.
just
Yeah. And I'm
throat
like, well,
punch.
maybe I
Bam.
should have. Yeah, exactly. And I'm like, no, that's
Dude,
stupid.
you ever seen these
Is
smelling things?
is that supposed to wake you up like smelling salts?
They're menthol scents. They sell these in like Thailand. They're really good. Yeah, it's menthol.
Wait, does it help clear your sinuses then?
It's like yeah, it's like very cool, refreshing smell that surges through your sinus passage.
Hmm.
It's nice.
It's probably
But
better than Afrin.
oh yeah, Afrin. Do you use Afrin? And how often do you use Afrin? You're only supposed to use it for 3 days. You know that, right?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes,
well,
I
I
do
won't
know.
lecture you about how you can get that sinus rebound shit.
Well, I just have the deviated septum. It's like I was telling you yesterday and just get my nose fixed. But
Really, you have a deviated septum? I
yeah,
couldn't
I broke my
tell.
nose like twice. Oh, thanks,
Just kidding.
asshole.
No, mine too. The doctor
Yeah.
actually looked up my nose and was like, "Did you break it? Because that's crooked in
Yeah.
there too. Not
Yeah.
quite as crooked as yours, but it is in there."
Oh, the doctor, I got so mad because I was like, okay, I'm gonna pull a trigger. Like insurance will pay for this. So I go into the ENT and you sign in on that paperwork. They're like, sometimes insurance doesn't pay for this and you're gonna have to pay for it. I'm like, yeah, I know how it works. And one of them was like a nasal endoscopy. And I'm like, okay, that sounds pretty invasive. I know other like an actual endoscopy is pretty invasive. And so he he walks in and he looks at my nose through the light and he
Oh
goes,
no, was that it?
yeah, and insurance did not pay for that. That was $500, like back when I didn't have $500. I was so mad. But what really made me mad, even more so afterwards, was that this guy had the audacity to say, if I got paid by the hour, I'd make so much money off your nose. And I was like, you motherfucker.
That's what the doctor said.
Yeah, yeah. And then he said that he can fix that, but it wouldn't straighten my nose out. Like I'd have to get like an actual
Cosmetic
different
nose job.
procedure. And I'm like, I feel like that straightening it out would fix it. I'm not a doctor, but I feel like I'd breathe better if you straightened out my nose.
Well, yeah, you should definitely get it fixed so you can breathe better. But I feel like having a crooked nose is kind of dope. I'll
Oh,
be
yeah.
honest.
Well, it's
It
not like
looks
it bothers
cool.
me that much, but
Nah, you
looks like
shouldn't
I'm a
see it as
fighter.
like you shouldn't see it as like a negative thing, like, oh, it's embarrassing. It's like, no, it looks kind of cool. It looks like you've been in a fight or something, which is dope for a older dude to have, like,
That's funny.
yeah, should be cool with that. But
Right.
I was gonna say something else. Oh yeah, about the fighting thing we were talking about, like remembering situations that
Oh yeah,
happened.
yeah.
Dude, I had one of those that lasted me like a year. where I just kept thinking. I was like, so maybe not a year. Maybe I'm exaggerating. That's too long. But
Dude, I'm like
when I
4
was
years into a scenario, and I'm like,
dude, I was living with my ex at the time. She had a house that her parents owned, and we were all like, she had her buddies that were renting rooms in the house, so everyone was paying like a part of the mortgage. It was like $400 each or something like that. But each progressive, like throughout the time that we were there, there's roommates that would come and go, and they got progressively shittier as time went on. First off, her best buddy had these cats that would literally just shit on the floor, and it's because she wouldn't clean the
ugh,
cat box. So I'd
so
walk into
gross.
the bathroom downstairs. Luckily, we had different bathrooms. First time I discovered that they didn't take care of their cats, though, was I was walking down the hallway in the middle of the night in their first place they lived. I was staying the night, and I walked down the hall, and I stepped in a puddle of piss in the hallway. And I was like,
It's so gross.
what? And then I went in the bathroom and I saw the cat box, and it was literally a mountain of shit.
These
It was a
poor
mountain of
cats.
shit. I'm like, okay, I know why they're pissing on the floor, right? And then eventually I started cleaning it for them to try to be like, hey, maybe you should. And it didn't make any difference. But time went on, and I said something to the roommate like, look, your cats are pissing all over everything, like, and she's like, well, they have urinary infections. I'm like, no, they don't have urinary infections. You're not cleaning their box. And she just
Well,
like
they
was
might get
not,
one for not cleaning the box.
yeah, it just weren't, she was not willing to take ownership of like, you're a slob. That's the problem here, right? It was
Uh,
everything else but taking ownership. Anyways, that was one roommate. And then there was more. And then the last one was this giant gay dude and his boyfriend. And this dude was like, he was like 6'4", 6'5", like big, like 300 plus, like
dang.
maybe three yeah, around like 300, maybe like upper 200s, 300, whatever. Really big dude, kind of like Oren. You remember Oren?
Yeah,
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 this dude was like Oren, but like had that feminine, like, eh, eh, you know,
yeah.
acted like a girl, but there was a hostility beneath the surface that led me to believe that if that person got real mad, they would dismantle you like a silverback gorilla, right?
Oh yeah.
The gay thing, I don't buy it, right? I'll say that out front. I think gay and I think non-binary, whatever shit, it's a thin little fabricated fantasy that lives slightly in front of the truth, which is you are what you were born as. And I think anger completely dismantles the thing that's in front. So if you get a gay guy mad enough and he's got a bunch of testosterone and shit, the straight dude will come out and he'll fuck your shit up.
I don't know if that's the straight dude. I think it's just. I mean, I would say
Like,
it's.
you can
I've seen a lot of
disagree if you
videos.
want.
Well, I've seen a
I
lot of
think there is a
videos
straight dude
like
in there.
that, to where they're
Yeah.
like the very feminine, and then they get mad, and they're like, "Listen, bro," and you're like, "Oh crap."
Well, some dudes don't have a lot of like testosterone. They wouldn't be naturally aggressive if they were straight, right? But some still have a bunch of testosterone and shit, and so that whole fake feminine estrogen behavior is just a veneer on the surface, right? It's not real, right? So, anyways, we can discuss that later. But I got into a dispute with one of the girls. She was talking shit about me to my girlfriend, and I confronted her because I found out from Sean Dittman. He's like,
Mhm.
I walked by the bedroom and I heard her talking to your girlfriend, and she was saying, "Oh, Nick's, motherfucker, blah blah." I'd never heard her talking shit about me. I only just in my head I knew it that she was, but I never could confirm it. So when I confirmed, I was like, "You're sure you heard that?" And he's like, "Yep." And I'm like, I pulled a fucking Yui. I'm like, I'm going back. And so I whipped back into the house, and they're all sitting in the garage smoking weed and cigarettes. And I came out and was like, you and me got problems. And she was like, what? I'm like, you've had a fucking issue with me since I started dating her. I'm like, let's get it out in the open. You're talking shit. And she started shaking. No, I wasn't. No, I wasn't. I'm like, yes, you were. Like, let's talk about this. What's your problem with me? Like, what's your issue with me? And I confront her, and she just started fucking crying. And then everyone's like, what are you doing, Nick? What are you doing? This is crazy. You can't do this. And the gay dude was sitting right there, and everyone's acting all hysterical and shit. And so I'm like, all right, I'm done. That's it. That's all I needed to do. Just needed you to know that I know that we're not cool. Okay, bye. And I left, and I felt pretty good about myself. And then I went back later that night, and so I'm at the house. I'm sleeping upstairs, and girls left, and it's like 9:30 or something. And the girls went to work, and it was just me in my room, and then Sean was staying there in the other room, and it was the gay dudes that were still at the house. And I wake up to like hard rock fucking blaring downstairs.
One sec. On this night.
Yeah.
Dog
So I
keeps
go
busting
down.
the door open.
So I go down knowing that this is a taunt to me. Somebody's taunting me. And I go down, and he's got the sound bar from the downstairs living room plugged in the kitchen and just cranked all the way up. And he's like washing furiously, like smashing dishes, washing dishes, and he's trying to fuck with me. And Sean had gone to take a shower, I think. And I was sitting there like roiling, like, what's the move here? What do I do? This guy's like provoking me. Like, do I go confront him? This is pretty aggressive. And so the move was I went down the stairs and I went into the kitchen and I just yanked the plug on the soundbar. I was like,
Nice.
pop, and it was off. And it was like he was waiting for that because he just fucking threw the cookie sheet and turned around and just fucking started running at me, dude. And so I got this like rhinoceros running at me. And so I retreated until I was up on the stairs and I was like standing slightly up, like above him. And then at that point, he started screaming at me. He's like, and I'm like, dude, what the fuck? And he's like, throw a punch, motherfucker, throw a punch. And I'm like, dude, you look like you're gonna swing on me. You just ran at me. And he's like, motherfucker, you're the one who would be the aggressive one. And then he brought up all this stuff from the previous days. Like, who confronts a woman like that? Who talks to a woman like that? Are you serious? What kind of a man are you? What kind of a man are you? And then Sean came down the stairs in his like towel, and he's like ready because he's all martial arts. He's like,
Yeah.
what's going on? What are we doing? What are we doing? And I'm like, dude, you're fucking
His
too late.
towel,
It's
so
over.
great.
Yeah, with his little washboard abs ready to go. Like,
funny.
dude, you missed it. And then the gay dude like stormed out the back door. And then I felt weird about it, and I went out there, and he's like shaking, smoking a little cigarette. And I'm like, I said, me and you didn't have a problem. It was the girls. Like, like, why are you doing this? And he's like, just don't fucking talk to me. Just don't talk to me. And so I left. But anyways, following that, I had this feeling of like, I should have punched him when he was running at me, and it stuck with me because it literally broke us up, and that's kind of, he was trying to like push it to a head so that we had our blowout and we broke up, and then I felt like I had to walk on eggshells around this gay dude who was like really awful, like he was really awful, and I just kept having these little like fantasies of like, you should have grabbed him by his neck and thrown him down, or you should have punched him when he was running at you, or what you really should do is drive back with like a ski mask at night when it's all dark and get him when he's getting out of his car or something and just fucking jump the shit out of it. Just all of these different like horrible murderous ideas. And yeah, it
the
stuck with me
intrusive
for a long
thoughts.
time. Yeah, dude, like real bad ones, like just crowbar shit, which is a hate crime because he's gay.
Right.
But like,
right, no matter what, it would have ended up being one. But
yeah,
I still think you did the right thing, which
well, that's
was
what everyone says. But how much cooler would it be if you were like, then I uppercutted him and it fucking knocked him out cold, and they'd be like, was the wrong thing to do, but
and then you spent a couple nights in prison, and
that's true. Could have landed on his little neck and snapped it, or something. Hit his head on a chair and killed himself on accident.
I'm not gonna like do the whole scenario. But what went through my head was if I not defend myself, but if I push this situation even further, this type of person could go grab a gun and shoot me, or call the cops, or grab a knife, and I'm in prison or I'm stabbed, and I'm like, all because I was in their house. And I'm like that. It was just good to walk away because I didn't get myself in trouble, which could change your life. And I was, you know, just freshly divorced, and I didn't want to obviously like lose any time with the kids and stuff like that. And it's like that's just the type of stuff that would like flash through my head before I'm like, okay, I just got to walk away.
Yeah, dude. Well, that's good. You had a bigger reason to not. I didn't have any reason to not do it besides not wanting to be in jail personally.
Yeah.
But I was like, I lose it all and walk away like a coward, or I stand my ground and at least get a couple of punches in and then walk away looking kind of like a badass. But I didn't do that. I guess it's
For
not
fighting
badass to
again.
beat up a gay guy, but
Uh,
but
no,
we
it's
shouldn't
just it's
discern, right? If he's gay or not or whatever, if he's aggressive and he's a strong dude, you should be able to fight him, I think.
yeah, if it got to it. I mean, obviously, I don't know what would have happened if you didn't retreat.
Yeah, dude, I don't know either. I think he was trying to intimidate me, but I don't know if he would have actually like gorilla like threw me into the
Yeah,
wall or something. But
I was sitting down and this person just turned around and got right in my face, and I just looked at it and then had all these thoughts, and I was like, I think we're just gonna go. So Jess and I
so
left.
you acted. So here's the difference. So here's what fucks with you for much longer is if you act out of self-preservation versus if you retreat out of fear. And I
Oh
retreated out
yeah,
of
yeah.
fear. I retreated because I was scared.
Not a
And
big
that's
person.
what fucked with me because he made me flinch. And so it hit me right in the ego. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
That
yeah.
was the
No,
whole
I get that.
goal. The whole goal because he started going, "What kind of a man does that? What kind of a man?" He's trying to was it emasculate me.
Emasculate you. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, he was like, "Look, I'm gay and I'm more of a man than you." That was what he was trying to do.
As he was being petty with the music and the dishes.
Yeah. Then I was like, "We'll see who's more of a man when I come back with a ski mask and fucking
Definitely not you.
Jack twist you like on Brokeback Mountain. Just fucking end your little."
Uh,
Just kidding.
yeah,
Just
good,
kidding. Just kidding.
good
I
disclaimer.
like I like gay dudes too. Good ones. I like good everyone's.
Yeah,
Even if I don't agree with what you stand for, the choices that I think that you make. If as long as they're just personal and affect you, and you're otherwise a good person, like I don't really give a fuck. You make decisions I think suck too sometimes, and I make decisions other people think suck too.
yeah, sure. You
I
were
didn't get
very
my shit
adamant
together for a long time.
that I do
Do you do what?
make decisions that you don't like.
Oh yeah, I'm
You're
sure
like,
you do.
you do it all the time.
I can't think of them right off the bat, but I'm sure they're there.
Yeah, yeah, for sure.
Oh,
Yeah.
I know of ones I disagree with.
Okay.
You don't want me to say it though.
I don't want you to say it on camera.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
I can type it in the chat box though.
Okay. Now you're gonna see what oh, maybe not.
Here.
I think I know. Oh no, I
What
know.
what was I gonna say?
Oh, the I thought it was something else.
Oh, what did you think? Share what you thought it was.
I thought you were gonna talk about how like you always thought me with my ex was a bad idea.
Oh yeah, that too.
Yeah, yeah,
But I was lazy, dude. That's a part of the story that I didn't even get into. Was I was sleeping till 9:30, 10 o'clock, along with the slobby gay dudes, because I was a slob myself. I was in a slobby mess with these slobby people because I was a slob as well.
yeah.
And
Well, it's
so
good you got
I was
out.
making poor life choices for a
I
long
think you're
time.
good. You're good at recognizing things that have changed your life for the better.
Moments
Yeah,
and
like key moments in your life that you look back on.
Like, oh, that meant something. Yeah, because it hurts. Because I look back on the way I behaved in high school, and I'm like, what an arrogant. Like Facebook allows me to look back and see the kind of stuff I was thinking and saying, like
Yeah,
right at the tail end of high school. I'm like, whoa, that's
yeah.
funny, but that's wild. Like it's
Well, back then
funny.
you could say whatever you wanted though. You can't really do that now without the backlash.
Yeah, but the fact that I was willing to like hurt people's feeling, I said
Oh
hurtful
yeah. It's
things to
actually
people
really funny
that were
that
funny.
I think what's funny is just how different we were back then, but still really good friends.
I was friends with everyone though, like because I lived further back in the woods than you, so I lived near all of the shitheads,
hmm Yeah.
and so I grew up in between worlds where I had to hang out with the stoner kids that were smoking weed at 12 years old because they were the people who were around me, and they were mean. They were real mean. Like I remember when they were like, "You'll never be one of us. You're a prep, and you'll never
And
be
now you're
one of
like
us."
sweet. Yeah.
Yeah, no, but back then I was like, oh, I want friends, but they were always reminding me that I would be an outsider to the group, and so I swung between. I adopted some of their like harshness because they would just degrade you. Like I remember the first time they like were mean to me, and I was like really hurt, and I wanted to run away, but I was on the bus and there was nowhere to go. They're just like laying into me like fucking little high pitched voice, sound like a chipmunk, tiny little dude, like little fucking preppy bitch, and
Um,
everyone's looking at me laughing, and I'm like, but then I was like, you just keep hanging out and wait 10 minutes, and everyone's moved past it, and you just join the conversation again.
yeah, that's funny. I
So then I was
I'm
that
sure
way to other
they didn't
people.
like me either though, so
Well, they did like me.
oh,
They just
well,
wanted to
they
pick
didn't
at
like
me.
me. Yeah.
No, they liked me. Um,
Uh, I was thinking about this the other day, and I don't know why, but there was one. I remember this time where it's really funny because now I really wouldn't give a shit, but I was like so mad at you when you're on the phone with like
Nick Stewart.
Chanel.
Oh,
No,
Chanel.
oh, I don't know.
What was I
I
doing
don't know.
with Chanel? What was I doing with Chanel?
This was your first girlfriend, right? Or like first real girlfriend,
Yeah,
right? Well,
yeah.
I don't know. I think I was like, you were in my room and I just like come out of the shower. So like I didn't have a shirt on. And you're like, where's your happy trail? Oh, Mark shaves his balls. Or I was like, no, I don't.
Oh my gosh,
It was funny.
that's hilarious.
Yeah.
It's probably
What
because
about the next
Chanel
story?
had a happy trail.
Ew.
Yeah, yeah. I remember distinctly. I remember she had a happy trail. So, well, I
What
also
did
remember me
you?
and Nick
Yeah.
Stewart called you, and we were like prep, 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 and you
Oh,
got
really? I don't
fucking
remember that.
mad, dude.
That's
Yeah, I
funny.
remember we were because dude, Nick used to do that. Nick Stewart used to do that shit to me all the time. He'd like, I remember he kissed me on the cheek when I was on the computer. He was just trying to piss me off. And he was
Yeah.
sitting really close to me, and I was like, "Hey, can I have some space?" And he went, and then I looked at him, and he batted his eyes. He's like, I was like,
Weird.
"Dude, knock it off." And he's like, I was like, "Get the fuck away from me, dude." And then he
Uh,
would get physically. He started like pushing you back because he was quite a bit bigger than all of us at that.
yeah. Yeah.
He was huge for his age.
Yeah.
And
And
then,
he was a bully.
yeah, he's bullying me. And then he
Yeah.
went
Yeah.
and he got his motorcycle gear and he started like raising it at me and chasing me around like he was trying to hit me with his motorcycle gear. And I got
Yeah.
a knife and I was like, I'm going to fucking stab you. And then he like ran off and drove home. But yeah, I
That's
remember
funny.
one time he was over and we called you and we were calling you a prep. Or maybe we started calling you a prep on the bus. Remember, I just said they called me
Oh,
a
maybe.
prep.
Yeah,
They call
yeah.
me a prep,
Made
so then I downstream I put it onto you because I was like, now
to
I'm
the
inducted
sensitive
into the
kid.
group. Yeah, so then I picked
Yeah.
on you because I'm like, Mark's more of a prep than me, and you really didn't like it. And then we called you and we started calling you a prep, and he was on one phone, I was on the other, and we're like prep, prep, and you were mad, and you hung up, and then we called again, and you picked up, and we started calling you prep again before caller ID, I believe, and then you hung up again mad and we called you back, and then the next time we called it answered and it was your dad. He's like, this is Wade, you guys better stop fucking calling my house. And we're like, like
Oh,
whatever
that's
you
funny.
bullshit stupid, he's like not even defending you, he's just like, I don't care, but just stop. And we're like,
That's great. Yes,
Yeah,
sir.
it was funny.
Well, hopefully Nick Stewart changed his life.
I don't think he did. Well, he maybe he did. I looked him up, and he's married. He was married last I checked, and
Okay.
seemed to be doing okay. But he was kind of like, I don't know. I kind of thought he was gonna do something real cool.
Yeah,
It's
like a
weird how
Travis
my
Pastrana type or something.
Yeah, it's weird how your perspective shifts when you get older. Where you're like the alpha type dudes that kind of like control everyone around them, and they're like kind of like that. You're like, oh, they're just gonna go into life and dominate, and then you look at
Right.
them later, and they're all kind of like burned out and shit.
Well, remember he stole my dad's snow machine
Yeah, I remember that too. I know you
and
very yeah.
what?
Oh, I just know that him and then Travis were also involved, and you and I have had kind of a disagreement because I'm like, I think I like Travis, but you're like, he
Travis
fucking stole my
Warden.
dad. Yeah,
Yeah.
and you're like, he stole my
Yeah.
dad's snow machine. I hate him. I'm like, all right, fair enough. It's
He
personal. I
also
get it.
beat a lady and so
Didn't
but
beat me. That's not my relationship with him. All I can go is based on I will defend my relationship with
I'm
Travis,
just
and he
joking.
was a good dude to me.
He always was to me too, but I think like that was such a betrayal for those two people that have been in my house, and my
Yeah,
family welcomed them in the house.
totally,
And
absolutely.
then and then my I went with my dad and we tracked the snow machine down, which was crazy because it was all the way close to Wasilla.
Dude, they had no, Nick especially, and Travis too, but Nick I remember had no fear of consequences for like
Right.
anything. The same thing with his older buddy, that Josh Green and them. They were all such troublemakers, and it was like it never entered their mind that there was no fear of repercussions. I think that's why I ended up being in trouble so much in middle school and high school, because I hung out with them. And so I
Yeah.
realized like a lot of adults that tell you you shouldn't do that, or like they act like they're like getting tough with you, and it usually stops kids because kids are like, "Oh, adults don't like that I'm doing this." But seeing Nick like just cut through that, and like, this is a empty threat. You're not going to do shit. And I'm
Yeah.
like, oh, they really weren't gonna do shit. So that's how I treated my teachers when they were like, "You better stop it." And I'm like, I know how this ends. You're not doing fucking nothing. What are you gonna do? But he did that too.
uh,
He was riding his bicycle in the middle of the highway, doing catwalks up and down the highway, and Jesse's mom Pam was standing on the porch of Sheep Creek Lodge, and she was like, "Nick, you get out of the road. You're gonna get hit by a car." And I just remember he was riding by, and he looked at her and he went, "Fuck you, bitch." He's like 13 years old, and she just lost her. She's like, "You're a fucking little disrespectful." And he's just like, eh.
it's funny.
It was really funny, dude. Like that's the shitty thing about hanging out with kids like that, is because you know it's bad, but if it's funny, it's almost like it doesn't matter that it's bad because it's so funny, you know?
Right. Yeah.
You begin
Yeah.
to
I
weigh
mean,
things by like that, metric.
I
But
I sit here and I tell myself, I'm like, man, I took high school so seriously. And I'm like, I really didn't have to because I don't feel like it benefited me that
benefited
much
you.
because I I mean, I got the work ethic, I feel like, of like getting my shit done and doing it well. But to being like, oh no, I'm never gonna go to a party and I'm not gonna stay out late and I'm not gonna do anything
You missed
risky
out
or
on
whatever.
some things.
Maybe, but it's like what
No,
I
you
think
did
I
for sure.
yeah, I know, yeah, I'm sure. Uh but oh shit, I had something. I had a point.
No, no, you were talking about
Oh,
how
I
you
was
just,
like,
yeah.
but my grades, even though I got scholarships, I like dropped out of college. I was like, I don't want to do this anymore.
But I think the most important thing is it's not so much the grades that you got, it was that those represented the kind of work ethic you had at that age, right?
Hmm.
The
Yeah.
4.0 doesn't actually 4.0 does is it tells the college what kind of what kind of a person you are, I guess. Are you someone who's studious and takes shit seriously and is also
Hmm.
intelligent? And that's what it is. It's just a representation of that work ethic. So I think even though the actual grades didn't do anything for you that you care about, my grades were a representation of how unserious I was about everything that I should have been taking seriously. And as a consequence, I didn't do what I was supposed to do even after I got out of high school, right?
Yeah, that makes sense.
Like
I
a D or an F is supposed to be a warning sign. And if you
right.
don't care, that's actually a really bad thing, you know. If
Yeah.
you don't care at
Well,
all.
I know I was not the smartest person in my class. I just worked harder than the rest of them.
Well, that's the justification I always told myself for why I didn't try, was because I was
Because
like,
you're
look at
smarter
this
than everybody.
retard. They have a
Yeah.
fucking 4.0 and they're stupid. What do I
That's
care?
because
Right?
your IQ's so high you were too bored.
Actually, if you want to get into it, when
I
I
think that's a
was,
true statement. I'm not shitting on you.
I think it's a mixture, right? I think I do have a fairly high IQ because when I was younger, back before I was jaded and by all of the people I hung out with and everything like that, I was they tested me for my IQ and aptitude and all that shit, and they were like, "Oh, Nick's advanced," and they pulled me out of like regular classes and started putting me into like advanced shit. But then as time went on, you know, it was the coursework that I didn't keep up with because I just had other shit I wanted to do, you know.
Yeah, like be funny.
Yeah, like exactly, like be funny or to have fun. Like I would go home and it'd be like I have 7 sheets of shit that they want me to do, but I could also go like hang out with my friends, and I would prefer to do that. So that's what I
That would
did.
stress me out.
And then I would go to school and they'd be like, all right, so now we did all that stuff before and now we're moving on to the next thing. And I didn't know what the first thing was. And so I fell behind really quick. That was my biggest problem with math, was that everything was built upon the previous thing. And I just couldn't pay attention in class. Like she'd
Uh,
be teaching us one thing and I would find myself zoning out, like doodling. And then I'd look back up and I'd be like, fuck, I don't know what she was just saying. And I'm
how to solve
scared
for
now.
X. Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm scared to ask because I would be asking every 5 seconds. Like, I'm sorry,
Yeah.
I spaced. I wasn't paying attention. Can you go back and? So I totally fucked with math, man. I fucked up. But yeah.
That's funny.
Anyways, 2 hours is probably enough, huh?
Yeah, it's probably good. I'm getting hungry.
Yeah, getting bored.
No, definitely not bored. Uh, but are you gonna put our that new animation on front? We can.
Yeah,
I
I'll
said
tack it
I
on
need
to
to go.
the
Yeah,
beginning
I need to go in and
and
create a YouTube for us and stuff.
do it. Yeah, I'll export this and we'll be ready to upload it and start receiving hate mail here shortly.
It's the best kind.
Cool, man. All right, talk to you later.
All right, sounds good.
All right,
Bye.
bye.